Hey guys, it's that piece of shit you all know and love named Rezex. What's going on? In today's video we are back with some more family friendly content. And as you can hear, I am trying to get like a lot of views, so I gotta spin my fidget spinner. I don't know if you can hear it or not. That's my fidget spinner. That's me slowing it down on my microphone. Anyway, let's get into this video. Today we're going to be talking about the veteran's perspective. And if you just started watching this video, I would suggest going back so you know what I'm talking about for the most part. Go back to the before this video to a noob's perspective so you understand what I'm talking about in this video, which I'm not going to leave a link because it should be like a video or two ago, so that'd just be stupid to leave a link. I shouldn't have to leave a link. You guys should just go check it out so you understand what's going on and what I'm talking about. And I must state at the beginning of this video, I'm not hating on people in particular, but I am giving them shit. Okay, so let's start off with DE. Now, the focus, as I explained in the last video, is on the new players because, like I said, just a summary, as a more experienced player, their focus is on new players because us as more experienced players tend to force them out of the game. Not force them out of the game, but like tend to not give any shits about them, so then they just quit the game after a week or two. And then, so they're trying to find, what DE is trying to do to keep these players into the game is make it more open and vast than they make it seem in their cutscenes, trailers, etc. And, you know, like I already proposed my idea, I'm not going to go over the last video, but for a veteran's perspective, we are lacking in a lot. They took out the one good thing they had going for them, called endgame in quotation marks now, because there's no such thing as endgame anymore. Essentially making things like arcanes and stuff worthless that people don't understand yet. They may be hard to get, but if there's no such thing as endgame, then there's no such thing as like good things for endgame. There's no such thing as endgame, so there's no such thing as endgame weapons, endgame warframes, etc. Now, obviously, you can have powerful builds, but from a perspective, if there's no reason to go to an endgame, then there's no such thing as endgame. The only reason, for those of you that weren't around when void keys were a thing, that was endgame essentially, and you can do that now with the relics, but you have to. You can't just pick one and go forever. You pick one every 5 minutes, and to me that doesn't feel like endgame. That just feels annoying, because then you're consuming a lot of what you spend a lot of time farming for every 5 minutes, and then the enemies gradually get stronger. But I mean, just doesn't feel like endgame. The endgame problems, there's a few of them. There's the lack of endgame content, which is more so like there's not very many endgame weapons and stuff. You have to do certain things in order to reach endgame, and yeah, you can't really do endgame. You can only go to a certain extent before the game tells you to stop. I mean, everybody has their limits, and you can always try. And you got people like Life of Rio who like fucking are really good at end game in quotation mark stuff, but technically that isn't end game because there's no such thing as end game. And other than the lack of stuff, there's a lack of content. That's because that has nothing to do with DE though. People blame DE for having a lack of content for veteran players or more experienced players, but that has nothing to do with DE at all. That's us as players being fucking being inconsiderate for how long things take to develop, because there's definitely, that's why it's a grind game, because that's why a lot of people like me like grind games, because it keeps you entertained for a long time, a period of time, and then they're always adding stuff to make it even more long and grindy. But I mean, people don't understand that eventually when you get everything, it's your fault. It's not the game's developer's fault. Like, if you're gonna sit there for hours and hours on end every day to get everything in the game, and then turn around and sit there and blame DE for not having enough stuff in the game, if you really think about it, it has nothing to do with them. It's your fault for going through it really fast. So if I were a veteran and I was complaining like this, I would actually take time and I would go through and look at Warframe lore. That's why I'm not mastering 23, because I'm not trying to rush things. I'm just trying to casually do it at my own pace. Whenever I get a booster, I'll do some level weaponing, but like, it isn't my #1 priority, if that makes sense. And then, now let's get to the helping noobs part, what I talked about in my last video. As a veteran, I see helping noobs as like I told you, a tedious task because I know they're going to quit within a week or two. I've seen it with multiple occasions of my friends, and I've seen it with lots of other things. And that's why I say you should start, if you're going to start the game, you start it new, a friend that's never played before, because that friend can also help. You guys can just help each other out, really. And yeah, I mean, the game has a lack of knowledge. That's why you need the veterans' help, because they can tell you, give you all the secrets, tell you what's good. But that's what YouTube's for. That's why they have these partner channels, is for these newer, underexperienced players that have not learned the curves and the outlines of the game yet. That's why there are these partner channels. That's why there's the Guides of the Lotus in the game, which I don't think even exists, because I've never seen one ever. And as a veteran player, it's just, there's not much to talk about as a veteran player, because there's really nothing to complain about. We got a lot of weapons, we got a luxury, we got platinum, and I don't know, I just find it dumb that us as more experienced players complain over nothing. It's our fault that we nerded out so bad to the point that there's nothing left to do in the game except farm and grind. But that's all the game is. If you break Warframe down, that's all Warframe is. So if you don't like grind or farming for things too much, then don't play it. That's why stuff is getting harder and harder to farm, because it keeps us occupied for more days, and keeps us occupied for longer, and so that we keep playing. And that's what they want, is us to keep playing as long as possible. And that's why that's why noobs don't like it at the same time, because they gotta compact for it, not compact, but they gotta make it nice for both sides of the parties, because you want to keep the veterans playing, otherwise they'll just get off and play something else until something new comes out. But you want to make it easy enough to get so that noobs actually have a chance at getting it, and they, you know, because some noobs are just casual players, you know? And the veteran side of this, really, in a nutshell, is it's our fault that we take things too literal. Not literal, but we how do I explain this? We try too hard as more experienced players. And I know when I was a noob, I actually got a lot of help from my friend Accretion. Shout out to you if you watch my videos ever. Me and him currently don't talk anymore, but he's a dude who helped me through everything, and I appreciate it. He was not a veteran player, but he was definitely an experienced player. And without him, I definitely would have quit Warframe, 100%. So I just thought I'd give my side on to a noob's perspective and a veteran's perspective, because I can see it all. I see why you don't want to give shit away for free, but I mean, if it's to help keep the fan base of the game growing, I would say do it. I don't think say give away primes and shit. I mean, like, just little things like mods, or maybe like, I don't know, if you have like a prime part that this noob needs, maybe just give it to him, or because I don't know, you just help. Like, you want to keep this game growing, and you want to keep it strong, so you want to keep people entertained, and you want to keep people happy, and you want to keep them, you want to keep doing things and teaching them things, these noobs. That's why if you do decide to help them as a veteran player, like if you decide to help them more often, you appeal, you really stand out. And I only know this because when I was a newer player, I wanted Ash Prime. He was the first Prime I ever got, alright? And some dude, I got every other part but the systems. And some dude I talked to, I don't talk to him anymore, and I don't remember his name, but I know his name had Dragon in it, and he gave me the systems. And I was ever so grateful, and ever since then, I've always given a shit to other people to help them out. And I feel like everybody should do the same, just to help the community thrive and grow, and keep it really nice and simple and clean and sleek. So yeah, that is my point, and if you guys have your opinions, leave them in the comments, and if you want to add on, also leave them in the comments. Once again, this is discussion, so everybody's feel free to leave your opinion. I'd like to hear them all. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. It's been that piece of shit you all know and love, named Rezix. I'm out. Peace.